Greetings, Rabbi Aaron Boxt, back for my podcast this week. Um, when most people look at the Parshat for this week, which is from the book of Exodus, they focus in on the plagues portion of the portion because the 10 plagues is such an important story in the Torah. We replay it every Passover Seder as we put, out our we dip our fingers in wine and put a fingerprint of wine or whatever on the plate, symbolizing the 10 plagues. But I want to focus on two lines in the Torah that are also in this Torah portion that have nothing to do with the plagues. So we are it's Parshat Va'era. We're looking at Exodus 6, and the first line is line 4. Gam hakimoti et beriti itam, latet lahem et eretz Canaan et eretz migurehem asher garu va. I also established my covenant with them. We're talking about Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to give them the land of Canaan, the land in which they lived as sojourners. That's the first line. The second line is also Exodus chapter 6, and it's verse 8. Veheveti etchem el haaretz asher nasati et yadi latet ota. LeAvraham, LiYitzchak, LiYaakov, v'natati otam lachem morasha ani Adonai. I will bring you into the land which I swore to give to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and I will give it to you for a possession, I, Adonai. And the reason why I'm focusing on those two lines this week is because I've had lots of conversations with people, Jews and non-Jews, about Israel and what's going on between the Israeli people and the Palestinian people. We talk about the history and the wars, and we talk about everything that happened since October 7th. And there's often a disconnect at the very beginning of the conversation. As a rabbi, as a professional Jewish person, I believe that the land of Israel, we'll start with the Bible, because the Bible, as in the two verses I just read, and you can find many, many, many more verses throughout the Torah in which God says that the land of Canaan, becomes Eretz Yisrael, becomes the land of the Israelites. So there's that. But that statement does not mean that other people don't have the right to also be on that land. I've visited, and I've traveled and toured around Israel for many, many times. I've studied in Israel for many, 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 many times, and I've often met Palestinians, Christians and Muslims, in different parts of Israel and different parts of the Palestinian territories. And, the majority of the people that I've met can trace their lineage 3, 4, 5 generations, 6 generations to the land of Israel. And they have the right to also be in that particular area. So I do not believe that the land of Israel is only for Jews. I do not believe that the Palestinian territories should only be for Jews. As a matter of fact, I believe the Palestinian territories should only be for Palestinians. That's their land. But to deny the Jewish people their connection to the land of Israel is not just dangerous and ignorant, but it's wrong. How do you prove a connection to the land? Scientifically, that is. Scientifically, logically. Well, we have archaeological evidence of the Israelites being in Israel all the way back to King David and before King David. We actually have coins that have the signet of the different kings. We have pottery and all kinds of other architect finds that prove archaeological finds, not architect, archaeological finds that prove the connection of the Jews to the land of Israel. This can't be disregarded. But that doesn't mean, again, that does not mean that only Jews should live in Israel. But anyone who denies the Israel connection to the land is wrong. Trace the history archaeologically of the land of Israel. All of the peoples that have lived in that land are no longer a living civilization except for the Jews, except for the children of Israel, the Israelites. It's undeniable. And even more than the undeniable archaeological scientific finds, we're the only people that have been yearning to be back in that land for over 2,000 years. We have been exiled, expelled from that land, and we've still yearned to be back there. Again, this does not take away from Palestinians' rights to be in the Palestinian areas or any other people to have freedom in that land. As a matter of fact, to be an Israeli, you don't have to be Jewish. You don't have to be this or that. You can be a Palestinian, an Arab Israeli. You can be a Christian Israeli. You can be a Druze Israeli. And we have parties in the Knesset that are Arab parties that are standing for the Arab nation, the Arab people, I should say, in that area, Palestinians and otherwise. So, at the end of the day, it's a rough situation, and it has been since as long as we've kept time, if you will. There's been fighting over that land. But again, scientifically speaking, the only people that are around today that have a connection that precedes anyone else is the Jews. And to deny their right to that land is to just be absolutely wrong. Now look, I hope and pray every single day for there to be peace, not just in Israel, but in the entire Middle East. And I'm afraid that there are things that are going to be occurring, that are still occurring, that are going to continue to occur, and new things that will occur that may cause more problems in that area. And I pray to God that they're fast if they happen, and that if they don't happen, that we can eventually get to a peaceful solution to the conflict. I mean, and I still believe that a two-state solution is the way to go. Palestinians should have the right to their own sovereign nation, just as the Jews should have the right, the Israelis should have the right to their own sovereign nation. And that's undeniable. I am planning on going right now on a trip with the CCAR, the Central Conference of American Rabbis, to Israel at the end of for a week at the end of January, and we are going to be going to meet organizations that are working for peace, Palestinian and Jewish organizations, Muslim, Christian, and Jewish organizations. We're also going to tour areas around the Gaza Strip on the Israeli side, including the Nova Festival. It's going to really give us the chance to get to listen to people who live there and listen to their stories, and hopefully bring back a tremendous amount of resources and experiences and opportunities to teach our communities, to help continue to support Israel in all the ways that we can. And I think that this is a trip that is necessary and will be very beneficial for myself and my community as well. That is it for this week. I wish you an early Shabbat Shalom, and may God bring peace to the Middle East.